woman gets trapped in a raging flood.
Call came in that a lady had got washed off the roadway.
Plus, epic winds on the Northeast's highest peak.
They have a recorded wind gust of 231 miles per hour.
When weather caught on camera continues. Raging floodwaters threaten to wash away a 93-year-old woman.
It was a very strong current, and I told her, just don't try to fight it. We're going to make sure you're okay.
April 2011. Torrential rain is ravaging southern Missouri for 3 days.
It was a very wet period. Up to 21 inches of rain fell in parts of Missouri in 10 days, so that allowed a lot of flooding to develop.
Governor Jay Nixon calls in the National Guard to help rescue those trapped in the massive floods. Sergeant Tim Bridges and Specialist Junior Bombard drive through Poplar Bluff, Missouri in their armored transport vehicle responding to emergency calls.
We were getting goats and chickens and dogs, and at one point there was another truck that had picked up a Shetland pony.
They return to the base for lunch when the phone rings.
Call came in that a lady had got washed off the roadway, and it was our turn to go. So myself and Bombard, and Specialist Bombard, we got my 2 deputies and off we went.
93-year-old Louise Haig is trapped in her car on Highway 53. 45 minutes later, they arrive on the scene.
I parked the vehicle basically as much in front of her vehicle as I could to kind of slow down the current.
Onlookers begin to videotape the rescue on their phones. Besides risk of drowning, Bridges and Bombard must get Haig out of the car before hypothermia begins to set in.
We got out, it was about knee-deep already in water coming over the road, and as we're coming around, Specialist Bombard, he gets out, he's securing the cable. We threw the cable out, and the current kind of threw it away from the car.
Floodwaters flow very fast, and they have quite a force. Some of these floodwaters can pack the force of a strong to violent tornado. So it poses a danger not only to the people that are trapped, but also to the people that are trying to rescue them.
Even when we were holding on to the cable, I kept losing my footing because it was trying to drag us away.
Bridges anchors himself to the car as Bombard fights the current to get to the driver's side door. When he arrives, he finds the 93-year-old Haig in a surprising state.
He opens up the door and he tells her, "We're here to help you. You need to relax." And she tells him that I'm fine. I'm just going to wait for the water to go down. You guys can go on. And he very politely but firmly told her, "No, you're going to go with us."
Despite the swift current, Bombard manages to get her out of the car and passes her to Bridges.
At the same time, I'm holding on to the front of the car and then holding the cable so we have a way to get out.
Bridges tells Haig to wrap her arms around his neck and hold tight.
It made me smile because that was her biggest concern, was that she asked me if she was choking me, if she was holding too tight. And I said, right now, I'm in love with you. Just hold me like you would your first love, and we'll get you out of the water. And she squeezed a little tighter.
The 2 National Guardsmen sandwich her between their bodies so she doesn't get swept away.
We pulled ourselves out and got her out and took her to the road where there was an ambulance waiting to check her out.
The EMTs examine Haig. The 93-year-old has made it out relatively unharmed.
She didn't really have hypothermia, but she was well on her way.
Bridges and Bombard sent her off in the ambulance and returned to their base.
We changed into some dry clothes, which was a waste of time because 15 minutes later we were back out in the water again.
If you're fascinated by the raw force of nature,